Driven by your next Ford F-150 truck. Mack Hike Ford, I-55 North in Jackson. Pre-owned or new. Best selection of Ford F-150 trucks for you as you're looking to upgrade or trade in. Mack Hike Ford, I-55 North in Jackson. We are the Out of Bounds Show. ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We're live in the BankPlus Studio, and we're excited to have our next guest on the show. Ace pitcher, 2022 Ole Miss National Championship team, now with the Cleveland Guardians. They were the Cleveland Indians when I was growing up. And we welcome in Dylan Delucia on ESPN 105.9 The Zone and the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Dylan Delucia, good morning. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Bo? I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Just here in Arizona for spring training, getting ready to get after it. How you guys?
Oh, man, we're great. How's the weather out there today?
It's a nice, it's a little crisp today, actually. It's 40 degrees over here.
And that's rare, I think, right? Or am I right there?
No, kind of towards this time up until spring training, like the January, February months, it's like this. But once spring training hits, it's all nice, sunny, good weather for ball.
Love it. Now, do you play any golf when you can?
I do, a lot. I was just at Waste Management, too, last weekend.
Oh, my gosh. That was nuts. Okay, talk to me. What had you been before? Was that your first time to go to the Waste Management Open?
No, that was actually, I went last year, too. This was my first time going all days, and it was chaotic. It was insane.
I mean, it's hard to wrap your brain around. You know, we watch it on TV, and then we get the cut-up clips on all the social media platforms. Is it as fun and bizarre as it looks, Dylan?
It's a lot of fun. It is. It's a great time. This year it was a little too much fun, but a little too much packed. But yeah, it was a great time.
That's awesome. And so you play. Did you play? You know, growing up, or did you pick it up? High school, junior college, Ole Miss. How long have you played golf?
I picked it up actually high school when I became a PO. I had too much time on my hands, so I picked up a golf club.
Okay, that's awesome. How many offers did you have out of Northwest Florida State?
Oof. SEC offers or just in general?
SEC.
2. South Carolina and Ole Miss. And South Carolina called me 2 days before I committed to Ole Miss and told me they were pulling their offer. They wanted a lefty instead of getting a righty. So it made that South Carolina game a lot funner.
I bet. Wow. Were you prior to that call? Were you leaning either way?
Yeah, I was 50-50 on it. And then I saw Ole Miss and everything, and I was like, yeah, this is the place.
Okay. Most outstanding player, 2022 College World Series. He is Dylan Delucia. He joins us on ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Major League Baseball, Cleveland Guardians. He's out in Arizona rehabbing and getting ready for spring and summer. Had one of the most unbelievable runs in the history of college baseball for about 8 weeks or so. Almost unhittable. And led Ole Miss to the national championship. So did you have a bunch of other, outside of South Carolina and Ole Miss, Dylan, who would be like, were there some other big names? I mean, those are two really good programs. Were there some others outside of the SEC that offered you that were at that level?
I was looking at a couple ACC, but like I was like huge on Rutgers, and then I forgot how cold it was up there, and I had to get out of there. But I was looking at Florida State, and some other places like around the country. I was gonna go visit Oregon and stuff, but halfway during the fall my dad always told me, he's like, hold off until you know what you want. I was like, okay. And I told him, I said, I want to go SEC. I told my coaches I want to go SEC. And they said, Dylan, you're going to have a great year to go SEC. He's like, your reputation, everything precedes you, but you need to have a good year. I was like, yeah. I was like, all right. So I held off all the way until I ended up losing, I think it was 30 offers by the middle of spring ball in JUCO because of I just took too long to make a decision, and I was holding off for SEC, so they committed other kids instead. And so when I got the Ole Miss offer, I was excited, but I ended up losing like 30 offers in a matter of like 4 months.
30 offers, man. And yet you stayed focused on, I guess the task at hand. And so you didn't commit or sign or whatever to Ole Miss until the summer. When was it, Dylan?
I committed. So I remember actually the day I got a call from Lafferty. Lafferty called me. He's like, hey, we're interested in you. We got to look at more stuff on you. So, okay. Talking back and forth. And, Burford was my roommate also at Ole Miss, and he was my roommate at Northwest Florida. So they had a good relationship, and talking to Laff, he ends up watching the Chipola game. I got a call after the Chipola game. I threw a 9-inning shutout versus Chipola to get us into the conference tournament. We had to win that game to get into the conference tournament. We ended up winning it, and I got a call from Laff with an offer that day. He was like, man, we saw what you did. You ready to be a Rebel? I was like, yeah.
That's incredible. Dylan Delucia on the Out of Bounds show and the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Okay, so you had an unbelievable year in 2022. Ole Miss wins it. You're one of the driving forces. Obviously, it's all about what you do on the mound, and you guys took care of business. The complete game against Arkansas. But so you win it, you come back. What was it like to bartend at the library as a celebrity bartender?
This was coming. Yeah, when I saw that video the next morning, I was like, yeah, I definitely got caught for sure. My agent called me. He was like, what are you doing? I said, yeah, you're right. But it was worth it. I had a blast letting them. I think they ended up getting fined for it by like the city or state or whatever. They ended up getting like a huge fine because I was bartending and I wasn't licensed or anything.
It's okay when you win the title, right? When you win the Natty.
Yeah. How much went on that night? I think they're good on that.
Yeah, no doubt. Do you have to? When was the last time you went to Oxford, Dylan?
I was actually just there 2 weeks ago. I went for a wedding. But before that, my last time there was LSU weekend. I went to the LSU football game.
Okay. Do you have to pay for drinks when you go back to Oxford?
Not really, no.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you should ever. I mean, yeah.
I think I've had like a $10 bar tab my whole time.
Oh my goodness. We had the same discussion, Dylan, with Tanner Allen. And we were like, when I think of Dylan Delucia and Tanner Allen, I'm like, I don't think they're ever going to have to they shouldn't ever have to buy a drink or food or a ticket to anything Ole Miss, Mississippi State for the rest of your life. How does that sound?
That sounds great. I mean, so far it has happened. Can we keep it going? I hope so, please.
When you heard about the Tim Elko statue, what was your initial reaction?
Dude, I was proud, honestly. I mean, like he was a great captain. He was a great leader. He was a great mentor towards me too. Helped me out of a lot. When I obviously, like everybody knows my story where I bounced around a couple programs and then I finally figured it out at Ole Miss. And he had a lot to do with it. I mean, maturing me and helping me out, keeping me under his wing. He deserved it. Did I want to be next to him? Yeah, but he deserves. Honestly, he should get it, and he should be right there in the front because there was no better guy I've ever seen as a player be as great as him.
Yeah. Dylan Delucia on the Out of Bounds show. Ole Miss pitcher, national championship now with the Cleveland Guardians, and he's out in Arizona for spring training. And he joins us on ESPN 105.9 The Zone and the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Okay, so you got beyond red hot with your stuff that year. I mean, did you feel it coming? I mean, walk me through. You were good, but then you became dominant. I mean, I don't want to say some kind of switch flipped, but walk us through what happened because it was amazing.
So I told Coach B when I first got there, I said, I'm going to be your ace. Like, you're giving me all this scholarship money. I'm your ace pitcher. I'm only a starter. Well, I ended up having a rough fall, got pushed down a little bit, and I've never been a fall pitcher or anything. I'm an in-game pitcher, ready to go. So when he said to me, he's like, yeah, you won't start for me, I took it like kind of to heart. He said, you'll never start for my program. I said, okay. When we got to it, I just couldn't really figure it out in the bullpen. And then, we ended up going through that rough spill for a little bit. And he came up to me and said, you know what? He's like, I'm going to give you this chance to start. And once I just get on the starting mound, everything clicks back for me. I'm able to be myself again. I understand where my assignment is, and that's to go as far into a game as I possibly can. If I don't throw, that was my thing. If I didn't throw at least 7 innings, I had a bad game. That's how I've always been. It has to be 7 or more innings in order for it to be good. Like, that was a big thing, like at Northwest Florida, they instilled on me was not teach me to throw hard like everybody kind of teaches now. Like, the velo came when I was at Ole Miss, but the throw with conviction, to throw with the energy to go late in the games is what win balls games. That's the only – you throwing 100 doesn't win ball games. You going far into games, giving up minimum runs, giving you guys a chance to score, giving you guys a chance to win the game is what wins the ball game.
Wow. Okay. All right, so Bianco said, hey, you're not going to start for us. You're going to be some part, hoping to be some part of the bullpen plan. And then all of a sudden, like you said, things weren't going well, shook it up, and boom, you took advantage of the opportunity. That's incredible. Dylan Delucia on the Out of Bounds show, sharing his story from, well, really high school, JUCO to Ole Miss, national champs, and now with the Cleveland Guardians. I felt like you got stronger as the year went on. Did you feel that? Like, you got into you went to Miami, you went to Southern Miss, you complete game against Arkansas. Is that how you felt?
Yeah, I mean, as I go, like, more innings, I start to tick up. I mean, it happened JUCO, it happened in high school. I start to figure it out, my body and how I move. Like, as everybody, it's rough at the beginning. You're trying to figure it out. Like, that's why spring training is so important. You just sit there and you only throw a couple innings, but you're trying to just figure it out until you get to season. Then by season, you got your feet wet. So, like, that's why I really like spring training and pro ball. But, like, in college, you don't have that spring training. You just have those couple inter squads, and then you get thrown right in the games. So, but, like, as the year goes on, most people tend to get better because you start to figure out, oh, I need to move this way on the mound, or this pitch needs to do this, and I could make it better by that way.
Sure. Okay. That makes sense. Dylan Delucia on the Out of Bounds show. All right. So how's rehab going? How do you feel?
We are great. We are 36 weeks out of surgery. I don't know that in months. I just read the sheet, but we're back throwing again. I'm back up to 90 feet. So it's going good. I got my first bullpen in a month. So luckily everything is on the right track for me to get back into season by June and be throwing in Cleveland by like July.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome. You are doing well. That's great, man.
Yeah. It is going well right now.
How many people do you work with? Like, do you have like a one-on-one pitching instructor? You got a physical therapist? How does it look?
Shoot. When I walk into the program, I got a PT, an AT, pitching guy, a lifting guy, and a like kind of sports scientist guy that like handles like my power, my movement, everything like that. And then I have a yoga teacher and a Pilates instructor.
Really?
Yes.
Is that something that you wanted to do, or the organization or someone else recommended? How did that come about?
Yoga I've always done since high school. And I just really enjoy it, to be honest. It takes my mind off baseball and it allows me just to kind of like search deeper, and also focus on like a shred. Because like big thing about pitching is being loose, not being tight and everything like that. So it also allows me to focus on stretching. Pilates actually just came into it about like I would say 6 months ago after surgery. Strengthening the core, building up those tiny muscles that you really don't use when you lift. So seeing that now, like it was a big thing, and like how I saw how like on a weight machine I could deadlift with the best of them. I could squat over 500 pounds, but on this Pilates machine, she has me cramping all the time.
So which one's more difficult, Pilates?
Pilates, yeah, 100%. And I did a Pilates class back home when I was on vacation and stuff, and it doesn't compare. It was like, yeah, Pilates has me 100%.
Wow. So what do you do? Once or twice a week each, or more than that? How does
Mondays and Fridays. Yeah, Mondays and Fridays.
Okay, awesome. Dylan Delucia, Cleveland Guardians, on the Out of Bounds show. Was just in Oxford for a wedding a couple of weeks ago. Went to the LSU game. All right, let's go to that. That was a hell of a game. Were you nervous in the end?
Yeah. Whew. That was a big game. Of course, it was like an all-day fest in the Grove, seeing people. But it was a great time. And, shout out to like Ole Miss they always take care of their people. The Ole Miss M Club and the athletic program. They always take care of their people. Hooked me up with a field pass for me and my family. So I got to bring them on the field the whole game. It was thanks to them. It was a great view and great time because of them.
Did you tailgate in the Grove?
We did. Next year I'm taking off. I'll tell you
that. What's your favorite spot? What's your favorite place to eat in Oxford?
Oh, I'm a big Southern Coop guy, or I've been really liking Obie's as of lately.
Mm-hmm.
Love Obie's and Southern Coop. I think my favorite restaurant would have to be Oxford Steakhouse, of course, or Jinsei.
Okay.
Because I'm a big sushi guy.
Ooh, I love sushi. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, man, this was fun. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We're glad you're doing really well, and you're on the right track to get back and do what you like to do and love to do. And we may have to catch up again soon, but best of luck and congratulations, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Bo. Thanks for having me.
All right, buddy. Dylan Delucia. He was the 2022 Outstanding Player of the College World Series and just had an unbelievable year. He's now with the Cleveland Guardians, and he joined us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Celebrity bartender in Oxford. Should never have to buy a drink, steak, burger, sushi. Shouldn't have to buy sushi. I love sushi. Do you like sushi?
I do. Jinsei's good. Jinsei's good.
I haven't been. I'll have to go.
Kabuki's good up in Oxford, too. I do like Kabuki.
Which one's better?
Probably Jinsei. Jinsei has the, they got.
Is that where you worked?
No. I worked at this place called Yugo.
Is that Thai?
No, Yugo was like kind of the same thing.
Got it.
But Jinsei has these tempura fried green beans.
Oh.
That are.
I love that.
Pretty solid. So I didn't even think about the library getting a fine because he wasn't an actual bartender.
I didn't know that you had to be. So I bartended.
Right.
And I never got certified.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I knew you had to be 21.
Right.
Well, actually, I think you may can get a waiver. Anyway, I didn't do that right when I was 21 or shortly thereafter. I got into bartending, but I don't know of any certification. Maybe this is something new that was a long time ago. That was mid 90s for me.
Yeah. And
Did you get a certification?
I did not, but also the library probably serves like 7 million people a year.
Right.
So there might be some different things for them.
It could be ordinance. It could be different, maybe. I'm not sure.
College town?
Maybe it is a state law. I'm not sure.
But I mean, hey, it looked like he was pouring them stout. So
yeah, I saw the video you sent me.
That's all that matters.
He was having a large time.
Yeah.
As he should.
And I mean, it's just crazy to think, like, because now I'm at the age where athletes on TV are my age. You know,
that's
like,
true.
Like growing up, you're like, wow, they're superhuman. You know, like, but now that there's people my age, like Dylan Delucia is younger than me, and he was throwing in the College World Series, throwing a shutout against Arkansas in the College World Series, and then he's goes back to Oxford, and he's the same age as everyone, but everybody's like, what a legend.
What a legend.
You know, like it's. The stardom after something like that has got to be wild.
Yeah, because you're just another pitcher.
Yeah,
on the team, and then the magic happens.
Right,
like it happened quick, fast. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's other guys like Elko had been there for a while. He had already established himself as a big time player.
Yeah,
right.
Even with the ACL season.
Yeah, because he still hit. Like 6 weeks later and hit some home runs and stuff. It became an even bigger story. Like Jacob Gonzalez was a star when he got on campus at shortstop.
Yeah.
Delucia, I don't think even Ole Miss most didn't even really know who he was. Right?
Yeah.
And then he becomes a legend.
I mean,
think about that.
Lost 30 offers in 4 months.
Yeah, basically saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And it comes down to Ole Miss and South Carolina, and South Carolina calls him and says, hey, we're pulling your offer. We're going with the lefty, or we need a lefty.
Wow.
And Lafferty's like, and Bianco tells him, you're not starting here.
Yeah.
You'll come out of the bullpen.
Man, for somebody who's been coaching for my whole life.
Right.
But it's funny to hear Mike Bianco learning from his mistakes, you know?
Oh, don't we all?
Yeah.
I mean, all need to?
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah. That was fun, man. Good job on that. Dylan Delucia. Legendary Ole Miss pitcher on the Out of Bounds show. And doing well out in Arizona with the Cleveland Guardians. All right. I want to tell you about MS Smart Homes. It's still time, but before March Madness, Jason, to get the Sonos sound system, to get all the cool speakers. You can control it all from your phone, the sound bars. I love it in our living room and kitchen and in my man room. And then you go into Augusta National and then the NFL draft and college baseball, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. MSSmartHomes.com. Call Jake Manning today. MSSmartHomes.com. Lunch today brought to you by the Blue Plates at Fleetway Market in the Market Cafe in Gluckstadt.